Hello, my wonderful students. Good morning, and you are welcome to another government class. Settle down and bring out your writing materials, and I want you to be attentive this morning. The topic we are considering this morning is what I call centralization and decentralization 1. We cannot fill in the whole topic today. Our major concern will be centered on centralization today. Centralization and decentralization 1. Let's look at the learning objectives. You should be able to define centralization and decentralization. Identify reasons for the adoption of centralization. Mention forms of decentralization. Give merits and demerits of centralization and decentralization. But before we proceed, let's look at the corrections of assignment of the previous lesson, Party Systems 2. Party System 2. Question 1. Give 5 features of multi-party system. Answer. Under multi-party system, there are more than 2 political parties in that system. 2. All the political parties are recognized by the law. There is wider representation, that is, people of different interests and opinions are represented in the decision-making process. Nobody is left out. There is absence of dictatorship. Individual can easily make choice of parties and program. Question 2. Distinguish between multi-party and several-party systems. Answer. Multi-party system is defined as a system with more than 2 political parties in a country, whereas several-party system has to do with a standard where political leaders are elected by the people on individual basis. Question 3. What is manifesto? And explain 3 importance of manifesto. Answer. Manifesto may be defined as the cardinal plans or programs of a political party, which the party intends to fulfill to the electorate if it is elected into power. What are the importance of manifesto? I ask you to give me 3. Answer. What to do and how to do it. That is, manifesto gives direction to the party's program of action or ideology and stipulates how to achieve them. It will give direction to the party's program of action or ideology and also stipulates how to achieve those programs of action. 2. Manifesto acts as magnetic pull. That is, it is a magnetic pull to the electorate, that is, to attract more members or supporters into the party. Now, let us start today's topic. Meaning of centralization. We are going straight to today's topic now. Meaning of centralization. By the definition, centralization is defined as the process by which political power is located in a single central decision-making body. You know, in government, we have 3 tiers of government, different from arms, 3 arms or organs of government. The 3 tiers of government are the federal, the state, and the local government or other component unit. So this system is said to be the process by which political power is located in a single, out of that 3 tiers, central, that we can also call federal government, only make decision on everything without considering other component units. If the federal government under this system should at least for one engage the services of the other component units, maybe through delegation. But under the system, only federal government, have the power, all the power to itself. The highest degree of centralization is achieved where all powers of government are vested in a central authority, e.g., countries that practices unitary system of government. You can see the illustration here about the centralization and decentralization. So, national unity and indivisibility, national interest, coordinated development, equity. Decentralization, local diversity, local autonomy, local serial system, local interest. So see the arrow, the box under central government, local government, civil society, local elites, private sector. So decentralization allows this one to be part of decision making, whereas this one on its own. This one on its own. This one allows the participation of other people here. What are the reasons for the adoption of centralization? Reason why some countries have adopted this system. One, best practice in a homogeneous state. What about homogeneous? That is the same, where there is no differences, no any form of differences at all. That is where there are no sharp differences in religion, language, beliefs. That is a country that will adopt this system, that means must be a country of one religion, where all the people there glued to one religion and they have one language and one beliefs. 2, small country. That's another reason. This system is easily practiced in a relatively small country, where governments ask representatives from every ethnic group in the society. Small country. You cannot practice such in Nigeria or US. Delegation of functions. The central government can delegate powers and functions to other component units at will. Not all the time. Power concentration. All the powers and authorities of the state, the country, are concentrated in the hands of the central government. The other government have the power, all the powers to itself. Flexibility. The constitution of a centralized state is flexible, can never be rigid, can never be written. Because this type of constitution is prone to manipulation. And to amend this type of constitution, it doesn't require a long, cumbersome procedure. 6. No constitutional division of power between the central government and other component units, because the constitution of the centralized state is flexible, and it is not stipulated in that constitution that a power should be constitutionally divided among the what? 3 tiers of government. Let's now look at the merits of this system. Merit of centralization. Decision-making powers. Sometimes there may be need to withdraw decision-making powers from subordinate units to make for a more coherent and efficient administration. That is, if decision-making powers have been given to subordinate units, and that powers are being misused or not thoroughly, center on the particular, issue that they want the subordinate unit to hammer, firmly. If the central government feels that subordinate units have not been doing their work effectively and efficiently, the power can be withdrawn from such, and central government will take it up. The cost is the second one. The cost of running this system is relatively lower than the decentralized administration because functions are not duplicated. Very cheap. Quick action is made in the areas of decision making and implementation. No bureaucracy. They will not be passing what they're supposed to do now like ball to another time. Quick action is made in the areas of decision making and implementation straight away. Unity. A centralized government unites different groups of diverse opinions and interests in the society. 5. It means for a strong government. That is, it is stronger than a decentralized one because all the powers are concentrated in the hands of single central authority. Yes, and that system will be very strong. What are the demerits of centralization? 1. Remoteness. It means for remoteness of decision-making center from where decisions are to be implemented because other components are not involved. It's just a one-man show. So whether the decision will be okay or not, the central government is liable to that. So it's liable for such because it is the one who will make the decision and also what implement the decision without carrying other units along. Another demerit, rigidity and inflexible response. It may lead to rigidity and inflexible response to local needs and problems. That is, the central government, since it has all the power to itself, may decide not to respond to some local needs if that one is not in its agenda. So it may not, central government may not respond to local needs and problems. It is only workable in small territories. I've said, in a small country. It may not work in countries like Nigeria and US. It can also work only in a homogeneous society. Only society whereby there is no sharp differences in religion, language, and beliefs. It is not possible for centralization to accommodate every interest group in the society, be it minorities, majority, even there are some, interest group in the society that are claiming that they have been marginalized, that they have not been enjoying from the, natural and national kick of the country. So it's not possible for this system to accommodate all. Some will be marginalized. And there's some, they will enjoy more than the others. 6, the central government alone can easily amend the constitution for selfish purposes, unlike a federal constitution, which is written and rigid. Federal government alone can never attempt to amend the constitution. Federal government must involve all the interest groups from different sectors before such constitution will be amended. 7, it may encourage dictatorship in the system. Since only one part of the 3 tiers is running the whole affair, and that only part of that 3 tiers can amend the constitution. So that constitution can be manipulated to make sure that the person in power continue to rule, maybe till death comes, or maybe until something that will stop him happen, apart from death. Now, before we go to reference points, reference materials, we shall continue from here in the next class to discuss about decentralization. Any question? Yes. If you don't have, I will ask you. Who can confidently define centralization system for us? Yes, you. Centralization is a system whereby all political powers are concentrated in the hands of a single central government. Beautiful. Clap for him. Yeah, clap for him. Yes. Okay, another question. What are the reasons for the adoption of centralization? Yes. For unity, that is, the system unites different interest groups in the society. Clap for her. There another one. Homogeneous state. What does that mean? That is, it can be adopted in a system whereby, in a society whereby they have no sharp differences in religion, yes, language, yes, and beliefs. Clap for him too. Yes, who can tell us merits about this system? Quick action on what? That is, this system allow quick action in the areas of a decision making process. Yes, clap for her. Another one. The cost of running this system is relatively lower compared to that of a decentralized system. Clap for him too. Yes. Who again? Yes. Nobody want to talk? Another one. Unity. That is, it unites every interest groups in their society. Okay, let's go to what are the demerits of this system. Yes, you. It is not possible for centralization to accommodate every interest group in the system. Cannot. But decentralization can accommodate every interest group in the society. It may encourage dictatorship. Yes, that's another good point. Clap for her. Yes, another one. Only the federal government can amend the constitution, and that constitution can be manipulated for selfish purposes. For selfish purposes. So, thank you very much. What we have been saying all this while is that it's just a system that can be practiced in a very small country. Such system can never work in a country like Nigeria and United States. It is not good for a large country like Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have a different religion, apart from the three major. Different languages and different interest groups. And according to our constitution and the law of the land, government need to listen to those interest groups, and their interests must be defended as well. So, but this system can bring unity because it can only be practiced in a very small country where they will know, they are very few in number. At the same time, they have the same religion, the same language. So, the understanding is there to manage their affairs by themselves. And the federal government can as well, accommodate, can accommodate the few people in that country. And the country resources will be well managed. So there will be no room for the wastage of resources. But this system may encourage dictatorship, bad leader, a tyrant who would love to die than being stopped to being in power. And then when you look at the area of the amendment of the Constitution, is prone to manipulate. The type of Constitution they have chosen for that system is flexible. So it doesn't require much people to amend. And the leader may use the opportunity to do what? To amend the Constitution for his or her selfish what? Purposes. Now, that's where we are going to stop for today. Before we go, let's look at the assignments. Before the assignment, the reference book, as usual, are Essential Government for Senior Secondary School by Chris Dibe and New Approach Government for Senior Secondary School by Oyediran. So the assignment: state 3 reasons for the adoption of a centralization. 3 reasons for the adoption of centralization. Question 2. Give 3 merits and 2 demerits of centralization. Give 3 merits and 2 demerits of centralization. I would like to have this assignment in the next class. Thank you for having me, and have a wonderful day. See you again next time.